My topic is about Irfan as a way to self-knowledge. There is a slight difference when we want to accurately use these terms like Irfan and Sufizm. Usually Sufism is something developed in the Sunni world, although we have some sort of splashes of it coming into the Shia world as well. But in Shia world, usually we didn't have Sufis. We had Urefa, or people of insightful knowledge. I better call Irfan as a sort of insightful knowledge, different from what we get from our experience. It's not something which is acquired by mind. It's something which is acquired by a different faculty of human existence, which we call the soul, or the Quran called the heart, which is the heart of human existence. This soul is the heart of human existence. That's why the Quran calls it the heart. The aim of Irfan is to acquire ma'rifah. Ma'rifah is the insightful knowledge which is not gained through human senses, through bodily senses. It should be gained through another faculty in human existence, as I said, in human being. Now, what is that? The aim of Irfan is to know God. And the way to know God is to explore inside. All of us have heard that mysticism, Sufism, Irfan is a journey. Journey is not a journey outward. Journey outward is science, is philosophy. You have this journey outward to know things by your senses, experience, contemplation, in the sense of rationalized contemplation. This is philosophy and science. This is a journey outside. Irfan is a journey inside, because by journey outside you cannot know God. You can see His signs. You can rationally deduce that yes, there is a God. Look at this harmony in the creation. Look at everything that you see is in its place. Then you deduce that there is a God. This is journey outside. But to know God per se, we need a journey inside us. And that is why self-knowledge will become very important, because it's only through the self and the soul that you can have that type of ma'rifah. It's not by looking out that you can gain it. Why you cannot? Because it's always a problem to know God. God is the creator of the time. God is the creator of the space. How can you, by your sensual faculties, find about something which is outside the time, find about something which is outside the space, outside the grasp of imagination? And we have one verse in the Quran which is used very much by mystics, لا تدركه الأبصار وهو يدرك الأبصار. Eyes cannot catch him, but he catches the eyes. There's one hadith, not one hadith, a few hadiths from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam, who said that this absar doesn't mean eyes. Certainly, naturally, it's obvious that the eyes cannot catch him. Here, absar is the plural of basira, means the imagination cannot catch it. Whatever you imagine about God is not God, is your creation. So it is impossible for us to grasp, to comprehend what God is, except through something which is not sensual, which doesn't come through eyes or ears, which doesn't come through your senses, doesn't come through your mind and rational understanding. And we are told that yes, there is a faculty for that in human being. And that is how you see God. Do we see God? You know that in Islam there is, I don't know, in other faiths, but in Islam there is such a huge controversy. Will we see God after we die and we are resurrected on the day of judgment or not? And you know there are some sects who say, yes, of course we see God by our own eyes. And others say, no, it's impossible. How can we see God something which is out of space, out of time. How can you see him by eyes? Never ever. But yes, seeing is possible by another faculty that you have. It's not seeing, it is perceiving. Yes, we can perceive God, but we cannot see him. Of course, by eyes we cannot see him. And this perception is something which Urefa and mystics are after in this world. They want to feel his presence in themselves, in their heart. It's only by heart that you can perceive him. Let me give an example. You can never see a sound because eyes are not made to see the sound. You can only hear the sound. You can never hear a color because color cannot be perceived by eyes, by ears. Color could only be perceived by eyes. You cannot see or hear God. You can only perceive him by your heart. And how can you do that? You can go deep inside yourself. You can explore your own self. That's what I say. Why is it? It's a journey inside. You go inside, you go deep, then he will be reflected, so to speak. Of course, all the terms we use are sensual terms, because we don't have any other term. And that's why the mystics usually use a sort of mysterious and coded language. They use sensual language, because there's no other language. What they know, when they communicate with each other, they know what they mean, because they have the same experience inside themselves. That is what is very, of course, attractive for many people who really want to know God. Everything in this world is like that. We never get reality of things. Reality of things are unknown to us. Yes, we get their description, we get the qualities. We get, for example, the size, the length, the harshness, the softness, all these things we get. Whatever is perceived by senses, we get them. But the reality of them, as Ibn Sina or Avicenna says, we never can get the reality of things. What is this which is in front of me? I don't know. I just see some features of it. I can experience some features of it. The reality of things is only known by that faculty which we call the soul or the heart. There is one interesting hadith from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, which is Anwar al-Shimel says that this is the beginning of Irfani and Sufi thought in the whole world of Islam, not only in Shiism. He says that Al-Quran ala arba'at ashya. Quran is based on 4 levels and 4 things. Ala al-ibara, wal-ishara, wal-lataif, wal-haqa'iq. It is based on expression, on allusions, on subtle meanings, and on real meanings. Then he says, فَالْإِشَارَةُ لِلْأَوَامِ. Ishara expression is for general public, for us. We read it, we understand it, we rationally analyze it, we critically, we do a critical analysis of them by critical rational method. This is for awam, for ordinary people. But the allusions which they have, this is for every scripture, of course, not only for the Quran. This is for khawas, those the elites who have improved in faith, who have advanced in faith. And then there is something beyond that. These are not grasped by rational analysis. Something beyond that, which is al-lataf, the subtle meanings, lil-awliya, for the saints, for those who get very close to God. Wal-haqa'iq lil-anbiya, the reality, the real meaning are only known by the prophets, or people at that caliber. So we see there are these things. What Irfan is after that deep, real meaning of the world, that perception of God, and of course perception of the soul. I have put here a couple of sayings which would allude to what I have mentioned here. For example, in the Quran, we have شهد الله أنه لا إله إلا والملائكة وأولو العلم قائما بالقسط لا إله إلا هو العزيز الحكيم. Allah witnesses that there is no God but Him. It's not that Allah sits there on His throne and says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. No. Allah witnesses that. It's a knowledge which could be perceived in the world. And the angels perceive it. And those who are given knowledge, وَأُولُو الْعِلْمِ. These are a category of people mentioned by the Quran who are given that insightful knowledge, a knowledge which is not perceived by senses. وَأُولُو الْعِلْمِ. And they see that He is standing on His creation, managing things with justice. قَائِمًا بِالْقِسْطِ. This is what they perceive. This perception is something that not many of us, of course the Quran says only ulul ilm. From among the human beings, only the ulul ilm. And that is not the ilm that we learn in universities. Look at this dua from Munajat al-Sha'baniya. There is a dua that we are told that all the imams of all the Shia imams were reciting this in the month of Sha'ban. Now, see what they ask. It's very important. Ilahi, habli kamal al-inqita' ilayk. Give me, grant me total severance from everything towards you, that I'm only attached to you. وَأَنَّرَ أَبْصَارَ قُلُوبِنَا بِضِيَاءِ نَظَرَكَ إِلَيْكَ. Enlighten the eyes of our hearts, so that by looking at your light, by having the grace of looking at you, our hearts become enlightened. And therefore, certainly this is not looking by eyes, it's not possible. Until, you see, it talks about eyes of the heart, not eyes of the head, not eyes here. حتى تخرق أبصار القلوب حجب النور. Until the eyes of the heart pierce through the veils of light, فتصل إلى معدن العظمة, and reaches to the source of your grandeur. Experience that. وتصير أرواحنا معلقة بعز قدسك. And our souls become suspended to the dignity of your holiness. There's another very famous expression by Imam Ali, peace be on him, and you see that these are not things which were created later on in the history of Islam. These were there right from the beginning. It says, Inna awliya Allah. The saints, the awliya, the friends of God. Friend of God means someone who's completely, totally submitted to Him and is, in a sense, managing everything by his trust on Him. إن أولياء الله هم الذين نظروا إلى باطن الدنيا. أولياء Allah look into the hidden side of this world. Why? إذا نظروا الناس إلى ظاهرة. People just look at the surface. Awliya Allah look deep, look into the realities. And this is not possible by sensual faculties. وَاشْتَغَلُوا بِعَاجِلَهُ, which is, of course, something very beautiful, a long statement, a very long statement by Imam Ali. I finish by one statement from the Prophet, peace be on him. And you will see that this type of perception was something, of course, it's general for all the prophets. All the awliya Allah have this type of perception. And that's why they cannot communicate with other people. Other people do not have. They have the faculty is not working. To make it work is difficult. It needs investing time, investing energy, investing, first of all, study, and then contemplation and reflection. The Prophet said, لِيَا مَعَ اللَّهِ سَاعَةٌ لَا يَسَعُهَا لا يسعني فيه ملك مقرب ولا نبي مرسل. I have moments with God that no angel can bear. What are these moments? It's a moment of the shining of the rays of glory of God into his hearts. As I said, we are just using physical words because we don't have any other word to use. We have to. There's no other expression for these things. But as I said, when the Urefa and mystics talk about these, they know what they are talking about. They know what is the meaning of enlightenment. What's the meaning of light of God shining into the heart? It's not physical at all. But they understand what it means. I have moments with God that no angel, no close angel can bear. And no messenger before me has had those moments. Thank you very much for listening.